In this demo, I'm going to show you how you can use RAD projects in MyEclipse. I'm going to be using MyEclipse Blue Edition 2013. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and import the projects into my workspace. I have a zip containing the sample RAD project. So you can see there's an ear with a JSF, EJB, and web module. This is part of the RAD EJB counter sample that's distributed with different versions of RAD. So click finish. Projects are now in my workspace, and you can see that MyEclipse detects that these projects need migration, and the migration wizard pops up. I'm going to cancel this right now because I want to show you the errors that exist in your project at this time. So if I click the ear, you can see that it shows you the runtime is not defined. So this is more environmental, nothing wrong with the project as such, but this runtime is not defined in your MyEclipse Blue environment right now. Go to the web project. Beyond the runtime not being defined, it actually has an unbound JRE class path container. So even you will see basic errors like this one, string cannot be resolved to a type in your project. So the projects just won't build. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the migration process now. Go to the project migration view. You can see it lists out the same set of projects. They need migration, and I'm going to right click and choose migrate. Migration wizard pops up. Click next, and you can see that it has shown me that this project is associated with WebSphere 7, but this is not, WebSphere 7 is not configured in my workspace right now. If I click this, you can see that it also allows me to associate the project with WebSphere 8.5 instead, which I do have configured. But for this demo, we're going to go ahead and configure WebSphere 7 as well. So I'm going to click this button. It brings up my WebSphere preference page. Click browse, and let's just set up WebSphere 7. This is where it is. Okay, I'm going to click load profiles. That reads my server configuration, loads in any of the profiles that are already configured. I'm going to click OK, and you can see that the errors, at least in the wizard, are now resolved. Now this is a pretty basic set of projects, just an JSF module, web module, EJB module. But I want to point out that we also handle other project types like utility projects, application client projects, connector projects. You know, all those are handled and understood by MyEclipse Blue as well. I'm going to click finish, and it's now making changes mostly to my workspace configuration, a few changes to the project, and you can see that all the errors in the project have now disappeared. So project has no more errors, everything resolves, everything compiles, and we can go ahead and try to deploy it. Also notice that my server view now has a WebSphere 7 connector configured. So I'm going to right click the project, choose MyEclipse, and run as MyEclipse server application. It's going to show me WebSphere 7 in 8.5. It's not showing me Tomcat because you can't deploy an ear to Tomcat, and so I'm going to choose WebSphere 7, click OK. So the deployment has now started, and what that action does is it starts the server and deploys the project, copies over your project resources over to the WebSphere deployment location. While that's going on, I'd like to talk about some of our other deployment modes. So we also have an in-workspace deployment mode similar to what you have in RAD, and that's especially useful when you have large projects. So for a project of this size, doesn't really make much of a difference, not that much to copy, but when you have projects that are a few hundred megabytes in size, the in-workspace deployment mode really is essential. So in that mode, what happens is we just make references into your project from the deployment location. Nothing's actually copied over to the server, and it's just a much faster deploy, debug, test experience. So you can see that the server is running and my project has been deployed. Okay, I'm going to just open it in the browser. You can see here's the sample index page for the project, and I'm going to go ahead and click increment. You can see that I've already run this sample a few times, and it's working, and it's just that simple. That's all there is to it.